Hello, welcome to another session of All About the Bass with Dr. Nathan and Captain Lee.
If you've tuned in to see All About the Boss, a documentary about Bruce Springsteen, then you're going to be very disappointed.
But yes, if you've tuned in to see two incompetent people talking about things they know very little about, you're in the right place.
You've come to the right men.
Yes, All About the Bass, the show where we talk about things that are for bass guitars and bass guitar players. And this week we are mostly talking about pedals from Finland. Darkglass.
He can't do the accent.
I can't. It was so long ago. What even show was that? This week we are mostly talking about avocados or something like that. Anyway.
Yeah, so Darkglass is the company, isn't it?
It is.
As you say, Finnish.
A little, I don't know, earlier this year or maybe last year, some of the guys that work in Andertons who are bass players started saying, have you, we're going to be stocking Darkglass pedals soon. And I'm just like, I've never really heard of them, to be honest with you. So, and then, as I usually do with most of the staff at Andertons, just ignored them and hoped they'd go away. But, they kept saying.
They kept on and on.
Darkglass this and Darkglass that. So I thought, I better check them out. And yeah, they are a boutique range, a little company based out of Finland. Everything's designed and made in Finland. It's really high-end kind of, just for bass players, a range of sort of preamps and pedals. I think there's an amp coming. Yeah, little amp coming later this year.
What's this space?
Pretty expensive, as far as pedals go. This is higher-end stuff. About 6 or 7 pedals in the range. We've just picked 4 of them here. And we just thought we'd go through them. And they are, I suppose, what you would expect for expensive pedals to be, beautifully made, lovely switches, all, super robust. But we're here to talk about, perhaps what they might sound like. So what have we set up here then, Nathan?
Okay, well, the first thing to say is that we're actually using one of the pedals as the DI out, because this rather nice one here, this is an Overdrive, and this is a deluxe version of, we've got a little Overdrive, this one here, see that, the vintage micro tubes. So this is one of these, plus you've got
a bit of extra EQ,
you've got 4-band EQ, and you've got the extra, a couple of little dip switches, that make some little adjustments. We will discuss those in a minute. Plus you get the DI output, which is very nice, and a ground lift on that too, and a parallel output as well.
So we're hearing it through this TC RH750 behind here. You will probably hear a little bit of the microphone on the cabinet, but the DI is just this pedal. What else we got going into that then? Okay,
well at the front of the chain we've got the Super Symmetry, which is their compressor.
Yeah.
And that's nice. We'll go through that in a minute. And we've got the Duality, which is kind of 2 fuzz pedals in one.
Right.
And you can, dial between the 2 and blend them. It
sounded like it had some more extreme kind of fuzz stuff in it.
Yes, that's right. And then you've got the Tubes B3k. This is a more modern Overdrive, I think.
Okay.
Than the vintage micro.
I know there's a super popular, so popular in fact we didn't have any today, but like a bigger version of this, which also as well has the DI output as well.
Okay.
I think it's the B7K.
Yeah, right.
But we'll just be using this as just a regular drive pedal.
Okay.
And yeah, the bit, to be honest with you, where I really thought I should look into this is that the roster of artists just started getting a bit, kind of like a who's who of everybody that plays bass. So I think some of the early guys on board were people like Tony Levin, Bootsy Collins. Don't know if that really counts, as Bootsy seems to endorse pretty much everything.
Does he? He has a great writer.
Yes.
I just see that online. It's very funny.
Tons and tons of all the
out.
sort of the more progressive metal, rock and metal guys.
Yeah.
So all the Periphery.
Paul Turner's on there. I saw. He's got a quote on there.
Yeah, Brian Bella. Aristocats and Aristocats even. And
Okay, right. Well, there you go. Some major dudes.
Devin Townsend. All kinds of guys. So.
Girls.
It's probably guys and girls. So look, let's start with which way? I think we'll start with the Vintage Deluxe, because we're probably just going to leave this sort of always on in just like a preampy type vibe, where it's just going to sound like an amp rather than a clean thing. Or do you want to? Or are you thinking? I noticed the frown. I thought maybe you just turn it on.
Did I hide it that badly? Well, yeah. Well, I guess we are using this as the DI.
That's why I thought.
Yeah, but no, I think we can go through them. We'll start at the front.
We'll start with the compressor then.
Yeah.
So let's get some. As we've talked many times before about what is a compressor for, and essentially it's designed to sort of boost up the quiet bits, take out the peaks. But I guess compression has you can either do it subtly, so that it doesn't really dramatically alter the way you sound, but it just makes people will think that you're a much more, much better bass player, if you like, because you've managed to keep all your notes nice and even. Or the more you kind of turn a compressor up, the more you get like a compressed actual tone, where it's quite obviously squeezed.
You can see there's a lot of pedals that are going for the micro sort of thing, one knob sort of vibe. This is the opposite to that. Obviously, one knob, it just means compression on, and then it's you're left with whatever they've decided you're going to have. Whereas this one, you've got a lot more options.
Yeah.
Not just with the amount of compression, but the attack. So that is how fast the compressor kicks in.
Yeah.
And the release, and so that's when the compressor lets go.
Yeah.
And
a blend control, so we can obviously choose to have an element of the
you can just have
signal.
it. You can have it all dry or all compressed or anywhere in between.
Let's just go. So if you start playing something a riff that would be sort of suitable for compression, if there is such a thing.
Oh, what? Like?
I always think slap. Is kind of.
Do you?
Well, I mean, you're obviously a far better bass player than I am, but I always kind of think.
I'm not sure about that.
Within slap, it's very. If you don't use compression, you have got that some of the notes that you're going to like, the pull-off notes, if you like, are going to really kind of like be unnecessarily loud, or unpleasantly loud.
Well, look, why don't we do? I'll do some different styles.
Do different styles,
and then people can make your own.
Save your electro dance pop music though for the end.
Oh, really?
Anyway, right, go play. Let's fiddle.
We'll start off with some finger. Oh, well, you slap. We'll start off with the slap, okay?
Yes. You can so see why this would be like so critical, that the sound, that for a sound man or something like that, or for a studio engineer to have a compressed bass signal, because otherwise the volume levels are literally peaking and troughing all over the place through normal kind of slap style.
Yeah.
Play something maybe finger style, and maybe if I'll try and get maybe if I roll the attack off and we'll just get maybe some sort of a smoother...
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
Here we go.
Yeah. Sounds great. I mean, it's most of the compressor demos that we've done on All About the Bass have tended to be like where compression's built into the amplifier rather than
which are much
pedals.
simpler.
Yeah,
But it's much more of that one knob. Here it is.
and
take it or leave
it seems to affect the tone less and more just restricts the dynamics. Whereas I'm loving the sort of, this is somehow kind of just rounding off all the harsh edges of the tone as well as compressing the signal.
Sure, yeah.
Sounds really good. I like that. So this is one of the first kind of compressor pedals where I just love the tone of it, to be honest with you, even more so than what it's doing to the dynamics.
Cool, right, a quick bit of pick. Let's try it with a pick and see, because also that, a pick gives you a lot more attack. So this should be interesting to see how that deals with that.
Let's do it.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of, I really like that. I really like the fact as well that you can, what I was trying to do with the pick stuff there was not take away too much of the dynamics, so just literally the extreme ends of the dynamics, whereas with the slap bass I was taking away kind of like the bulk of the dynamics.
And did you succeed, Lee?
I think I did well. You guys all know because I thought it sounded great. I thought it sounded great. So look, let's try fuzzing out now.
Okay.
I have no idea whether the fuzz will sound horrendous through the DI output or what.
Okay.
So
well, we'll find out.
normally fuzz adds in a whole heap of top end that's nasty and horrible,
right.
Until you put it through a speaker cabinet and then it kind of balances itself out. But let's go with the Duality dual fuzz engine. And you play whatever you want to play, I guess.
I'll play some stuff. Well, so controls wise, you've got a blend.
Yeah.
So obviously that's dry. That's all fuzz.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with it dry.
Yeah. Then you've got an amount of fuzz, which they call duality. You've got a filter, which is like some sort of, sounds like almost some sort of wah type effect.
Maybe the duality. Maybe that's one kind of fuzz there, and that's the other kind of fuzz, and maybe that blends between the two. What do you think? I think that sounds like a good idea.
Should I look it up? So yes, the interweb, the power of all magical things on the interworld, says that all the way down it's one type of fuzz, like what did it describe it as? Like a sawtooth fuzz, and then all the way up was like a more extreme fuzz. So, but anyway,
sawtooth. That's where you need to go to the dentist. When you go, oh.
What time was your dentist appointment?
It was 2:30. Hey.
To the pedal, let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pick it. I think it's. Yeah, I'm not a big fuzz fan, I must admit. But let's. I It's just so, yeah. Well, there's loads.
I was enjoying that.
Yeah, it's always about. There's a sweet spot where you've just got to get the right amount. You know, if fuzz with no dry signal, you just can't hear it. It's got no clarity, no note definition or anything. And then,
but that's going to be more of a dramatic effect, isn't it?
I suppose. But you know, then fuzz with too much bass signal just sounds like you've got a normal bass sound with like an angry wasp somewhere in the background. So I don't know. I just try and get it. Just got to try and get it right. But I was thinking if you pick it, maybe I don't know. Is the back humbucker?
If I pick it, it'll never get better.
Try it.
Go on in.
What about back humbucker? I'm trying to get something with maximum sort of note definition.
Okie dokie.
Yeah, there's tones in there. You've got to find them. I mean, for me, the minimum setting of the fuzz is the most usable kind of fuzz. You know, the more you go past that minimum setting.
I guess it depends what you're after with it, because this is not a conventional overdrive, is it?
No.
You know, this isn't just for adding a bit of fur on top of your sound. No. This is for some dramatic.
Yeah.
This is really for after. You know, you're getting some radical stuff out of here.
I'll leave you guys to choose. Maybe there's an artist that has really nailed the whole kind of fuzz thing, and so stick that in the comments section below, and then have a read through. And people,
personally, I have to say, I was kind of.
You were into it, weren't you?
I was into that. Yeah.
Well, we'll keep that back. You know, I'll leave that setting because that was my favourite setting. Right. So let's go microtubes B3k.
Okay, so this is more of a conventional overdrive then, I guess.
Perfect. So let's just do the same kind of run through again. So the dip switches on here, they have what's called a grunt and an attack setting. So they're both kind of, you know, the ways they're going to shape the sort of tone of the pedal. So grunt has a fat, thin and raw setting, and attack has a flat, boost and cut setting. So I'll fiddle around with those. The rest of it, again, blend, level, drive, pretty obvious what those controls do.
Yeah, the blend goes from clean to all drive and then everywhere in between.
Which I really like. I think it's important on a drive pedal to have that blend feature because it's yeah. Anyway, let's go. Let's play some more.
Yeah, some of this?
Yes.
Did you get where you wanted with that?
Yeah, I did. I mean, it's it's a very natural sounding overdrive pedal. It's not one of those ones that throws tons and tons of fur on the top, does it? And all of a sudden you're just thinking, oh my goodness me, what is this trying to be? It's just adding exactly kind of what it says, just a little bit of overdrive and grunt to your sort of bass sound. Again, I think it's quite interesting with these blend controls. The sounds that I'm liking, you know, you can go all out extreme, but I think what I'm liking is either lots of, you know, quite high in the mix but without too much drive, or flipping it around the other way, not too much in the mix, but in fact that's what I've done on the Fuzz. So not, you know, high in the mix but not too much drive. I think that's my kind of
right.
I think that's my kind of favorite sound, but you know, each to his own. Vintage Deluxe now. This has got the most knobs and buttons on it, hasn't it? So it's kind of like a combination, you know, drive pedal and preamp in one.
Yeah, I think that's the idea with this one.
And as I said, this is what you've been hearing the DI output of the whole time.
But this pedal hasn't been on per se.
No. So yeah, we've really just got the same sort of set of controls that we've got on the microtubes, plus an extended kind of EQ section. So let's do what we've been doing with this one.
So this is supposed to be more of a vintage overdrive. I think that this one's more of a modern, aggressive overdrive, and this one's a bit more vintage. That's the idea.
Let's see what happens. Here we go.
Without. I'm going to get me pick it back.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yep. I like it. I mean, the EQ is super powerful. Tons and tons of shaping opportunities there.
Yeah. Well, did you try it clean? The EQ.
When you mean clean?
Well, just take all the drive off.
Oh, I see. Okay.
If you stick the blend all the way around there, it doesn't matter what the drive does. Actually,
that's true.
That should be clean.
But then whether that means, well, let's see what happens.
This is live, folks. Live. We're doing this now. Really? Not really.
The dip switches appear to be part of the sort of drive circuit.
Yeah.
So they're not really doing anything when the blend's off. But the EQ is working. You know, you can still re-EQ your sound regardless of where the blend is.
Well, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
So I think try to do that again. I'll just do it as I'll do it with the drive relatively low and just see again, get some cleaner sort of tones.
Interestingly, I see Paul Turner, who
Yes,
plays
he's
with Jamiroquai.
He's an artist.
He uses these. That's just coincidence.
He does. Right, let's get ourselves a sound. Put your hands up for Guildford! There we go. So look, Darkglass, some horrendous techno pop here, which
what an interesting combination.
Always fun. I hope you had a giggle there. And as I said, there's a few other pedals in the Darkglass range. They definitely get the seal of approval from here. It's quality stuff here. Really, really like it. So well done, Darkglass. And yes, go check the rest of the range out here at Andertons Music Company. And that's it. I've been the Captain.
I've been Nathan.
And we shall techno pop with you very soon.
See you later.